Welcome to the GenX Pole Arts podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of GenX Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you're a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. And don't forget to subscribe and join our community on social media and sign up for the 15-day pole dance challenge if you haven't done so already. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, welcome to Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, episode 13. I'm your host, Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich. How's everybody this week? Thank you for tuning in. We are on episode 13 and we have more streams and subscribers than ever. I am so excited about the success of this podcast. I didn't expect it to be the most fun thing about GenX Pole Arts, but right now I have to admit I do have the most fun doing this. And it could be because I do it most of the time with people who I really care about and who I think are really cool and interesting. And I love being able to give them a platform to share their experiences and their stories with other people. I really hope that it inspires you to listen to these women talking about their lives and their experiences as professionals, as mothers, as dancers, as pole dancers, and really just connect with and maybe see some of your own story in the stories that they're sharing. I think the main theme that runs through every episode so far is that we all came to pole dancing during a point in our lives where we were looking for something different or something more or something a little bit exciting. And what we found after stepping into the studio was far more than we expected. We found community, we found friendships, we found new strength, physical, emotional, and mental within ourselves. We found a passion for performing for ourselves and for other people as well. We found an appreciation of our vitality and our physical presence in the world and our ability to channel that in ways that made us feel really good inside. I think it's a lesson learned over and over again. And my hope is that through this podcast, I am giving other women the inspiration or the motivation that they need to try something new, to step into the pole dance studio, to buy the GenX pole dance starter kit and try it at home alongside of me and join our community online. I'm giving you the inspiration to take a dance class or an art class or a singing lesson or just something new, something that gets you into your body and gives you the permission to enjoy it. Because as women in our second chapter of life, some of us are third chapter, fourth chapter, right? We don't necessarily have a lot of role models who we want to aspire to. I can think of a few women who are older than me now who are doing incredible things with their lives that inspire me to keep going with what I'm doing. But when I was growing up, and even in my college years and my professional years in marketing and advertising, I don't recall seeing many older in air quotes women doing things that made me think, oh, I want to be her when my kids leave the house and go to college, or I want to be her when I'm a grandma. Like I don't really remember having those role models. Our generation, Gen X, is so different than the boomers. And I know the millennials and Gen Z are going to be even different yet, right? Even more different than we are in the way that we are aging and growing as individuals as we get older and not accepting our fate to be in a box as we get older. And, walk my grandmother at my age was wearing a house coat every day. I never even saw her in pants unless she was going to church or like a christening or a baby shower or somebody's wedding. And those were really the only times that she went out of the house unless she was going to the grocery store, right? She would work in her garden all the time, which is beautiful. I love to do that too. But she had a very small and simple life, which is absolutely beautiful. And I aspire to be satisfied in simple ways the way that she was. However, she was very old by the time she was 40. And I mean, she didn't have any aspirations or goals or any real sense of herself outside of her role in the family. And I think we can be more than that. I think our generation believes that. You go anywhere on Instagram or TikTok and you see all of these women in their 50s, 60s, 70s doing amazing fitness challenges and starting businesses and just blowing shit up in a good way. And I love it. I love it. And I want to encourage more people to live like that. Let's change the narrative. So I was thinking that today I would talk about goals and goal setting. I see a lot online posted about setting your goals and what are your pole goals and what are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, like I am not a goal setter and I am outing myself. I never have been a goal setter. I've always been a more go with the flow kind of person. And I've always tried to keep myself open to opportunities and then follow along where I thought the best opportunity was. So maybe I'm an opportunist. Is that what it's called? I didn't design my life by setting goals. I ended up where I am today by making decisions based on analyzing the options and thinking about potential outcomes to the point where, I do have anxiety, general anxiety, and I have for most of my adult life. But for me, setting goals has always made me feel more anxious than just being able to be flexible. So maybe I have some loose goals. Obviously, I have the meta goal of aging well, being healthy for as long as I can. I have the goal of being a role model to my kids and the people around me. I have a goal of being an inspirational type of person in the world. I have a goal of leading and making my decisions from a place of kindness and kind heartedness. So I have, I guess, operating principles with how I live my life based around the person that I want to be. But when I think about like career goals or pole goals or weight loss goals, like those seem like goals that our community or our culture is always pushing on people. I've never really had those. So when I say I don't have pole goals, I mean, like I have certain tricks that I've always wanted to be able to do, like a handspring Aisha, which I am still not super comfortable. I'm still not doing, right? I was going to say super comfortable. Aisha, okay. Handspring Aisha, I don't know. It just scares me getting up into that. So I just don't ever work on it, right? But I'm not like, oh, that's a goal of mine and I need to accomplish this goal and I have a date of when I need to accomplish this goal. For me, that feels like a lot of pressure. And I would rather work on things that feel good, that make me feel challenged, that make me feel like I'm accomplishing something, but that also feels attainable and like I want to continue to work on it. And that's the path that I take. And eventually it gets me to really interesting places. And I think that that's okay. So the reason I'm talking about this is because if you haven't started your pole dance journey yet, and you follow pole dancers on Instagram or you follow pole instructors on Instagram with online courses, etc., and you see a lot of people asking you, I what are your pole goals? I can help you achieve your pole goals. And it's like, well, I don't know because I haven't started. My goal is just to start and just to try something new. And that's a fine goal. Like just giving yourself the challenge of just starting something new and just stepping into a studio. Maybe your goal is to just walk in the shoes, right? It doesn't have to be like, well, in 3 years, I want to have this list of tricks. In 5 years, I want to be competing, performing, teaching. Like, I feel like that's a lot of pressure. And at our age, when you are embarking on a new endeavor and you've lived your life up until now, gone through lots of ups and downs, have had a lot of pressure, still have a lot of pressure and responsibilities. The last thing you need is a hobby that's going to make you feel more pressure, right? I I don't need any more pressure in my life. So I'm guessing that there are other people like me out there, and that's who I'm talking to. I want to let you know that even though there are a lot of programs and coaches and influencers out there talking about goals, it's okay if you don't have goals and it's okay if you don't operate in that way because we all learn differently. We are all motivated by different things. And that's what makes the world a beautiful place. We are not all the same. So if you are a person, and I know people like this, if I have friends who, if they were to operate like me, they would literally lose their mind because they need to be able to look at their goals and chip away at them. And that's how they feel like their life has meaning and that they're actually progressing in their life. And that's beautiful and that's totally cool. But if that's you, then my programs are probably not going to work for you, even though they are step by step. You can set goals within my programs, but I'm not going to be the goal police. I'm not going to be holding you to specific timelines and goals. That is why the pole dance starter kit is you do it at home at your own pace. You get coaching if you're in the online group. If you need it, you ask questions. And if you do the monthly membership, we have weekly check-ins and coaching sessions as a group to help keep each other feeling supported and motivated, but we aren't measuring anybody's progress against any kind of timeline. So just putting that out there. I think in my career, I was the same way. I knew I wanted to learn as much as I could. I knew that I wanted to do good work. I knew that I wanted to be good at my job, but I didn't have like a plan where in 3 years I wanted to be a supervisor and 5 years I wanted to be VP and then I wanted to have a C-level position within 7 years. I just didn't think that way. I didn't work, my brain didn't work that way and doesn't work that way. So instead, I just did the best job that I could I taught and mentored others. And when I saw opportunities for a new product or service or a position, I would just speak up and say, I think we should be doing this, and here's why. And I would just carve a path for myself and take it. If I were setting myself against a particular path that had goals to do this, this, and this, I wouldn't have been able to work in such an innovative way. I wouldn't have been able to contribute brand new ideas and solutions and create new roles and positions for myself, because I would have been trying to keep myself in a box, moving along a path that was already based in what existed, instead of finding a new path and creating that path for myself. So maybe my goal was subconsciously to create my own path and create my own opportunities. And that's okay. It worked for me. It worked for me until I got to be this age. And then I was laid off from my job. And now, at my age, with 25 years of experience, people in corporate America are not psyched to bring a 55-year-old woman with 25 years of experience into the fold. So, there's that to think about, which is why we are here, why I started GenX, because I saw an opportunity and I was like, I could do this. This was never a goal of mine. I actually was never thinking about being a pole teacher. Like, that wasn't a goal. Up until just a few months before I started teaching, people were like, when are you going to teach? Are you going to teach? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to teach. And now I teach in person, online, workshops, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But it didn't feel like the plan for me until I made it my own and I did it the way that felt right to me. So, the whole point of the story is that if you are listening, if you are a listener, if you enjoy the podcast, I appreciate you. And if you're thinking about trying something new, if you're thinking about going to the pole studio, if you're thinking about starting pole at home with one of my programs, it's okay if you don't know anything else other than you just want to start. Like, it's okay if you don't have a goal other than just to do something new like that. That is a goal. So go ahead and just do it and then see what happens next. And if you are a planner who needs to have goals, then there are tons of programs that can help you set goals as well. And there's room for all of our learning styles. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. As you know, these solo episodes are super short, just like my haircut. This is the first short hair episode since my cut. But I think it's important. I like to just talk about what comes up between the guest episodes for me. I think about these things as I'm walking my dogs or driving to the studio, or I'm listening to the latest episode and then something comes to mind and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that a little bit more. So that's the point of having these solo episodes. One other thing that just came to me when I said that was it was the freestyle episode where I talked about not being technical, saying like, "Oh, I'm not really a technical person. I'm more same idea as what I'm saying today, right? I'm more go with the flow and I love freestyle because it's not preconceived. I'm just going." And the more I thought about what I said, the more I realize that I am a very technical and analytical thinker. In fact, the job that I did, my career included data analytics and behavioral sciences in digital media. And I was doing that in the very beginning of the internet when the data we collected was very, very limited. And I was doing that right up until, now when we have so much data that it's insane, and you can have analysis paralysis because you're really trying to get really too granular in the understanding of the data. Anyhow, it also is the kind of the root of the anxiety that I have in my life. I have health anxiety and health PTSD from the situation I lived through with my husband and then my son who has Crohn's disease. So I've talked about that before, but it's because I have a very analytical mind and I want to understand the ins and outs of everything because that leads to control issues, right? Like I want to be able to find ways to fix and solve things and control things. So for me, when I'm learning tricks, I need to be taught by somebody who is very technical and can describe to me technically, this is where your hand goes. This is the rotation of your arm and your shoulder. This is your hip placement. Your leg goes here. Your gaze should be here. Very similar to yoga. So as a yoga teacher, what I really appreciate about yoga and yoga teacher training is alignment. And each asana, each pose in yoga has a very, very specific alignment. And then you also have your drishti, which is your gaze and where your gaze should be in each asana. And the goal of yoga is to get more and more close to the proper alignment as you're connecting that movement to the breathing and your drishti is in the correct place in space. So I love that about yoga because it gives me something to work towards. And I know if I'm doing the pose correctly or not. So when I'm doing a trick on the pole, especially in the beginning, it's really important to me to understand the mechanics and to have it broken down for me technically. And then I feel like, okay, I can make sense of this. I know where things go rather than just saying, oh, you'll just feel it when you're in the right position, or you'll just trust your center of gravity or your balance. That's not me to just see somebody do it and then just try to do it. Like, I need to see somebody do it. I need to understand how they did it, and then I can do it. It's the same with hoop. So you all know I teach hoops. I train at a aerial gym, like a circ type of school. And for me, I love the fact that hoop is specific hand placement, the direction of the hand, two hands. Where are they on the apparatus? Which position, which grip? And that helps me to break it down in my mind. Once I get the technical part of either choreography, the pole trick, the hoop choreo, whatever it is, and I can feel it in my body, and the muscle memory kicks in because I rely on the technique and the mechanics, the body mechanics. That is when I can flow freely. And that's where the artistry comes after that. So I just wanted to go back and restate what I said previously because I felt like that was a misrepresentation of how I learn and not fair. So anyhow, I would love to hear your thoughts on learning and goal setting and what does that look like for you? How does it work best for you? And if you have any tips for me on any of it, please let me know. I want to make sure this podcast continues to be meaningful to you all. So your comments and feedback are really important to that. Anyhow, thank you for showing up again. Thank you for listening. I love you for being here. And until the next time when we have another amazing guest, I wish you well. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by GenX Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.